A single bottle of Birch syrup can sell for more than a premium bottle of wine, yet most Americans have never even heard of it. While maple syrup dominates breakfast tables at $12 a bottle, there's a hidden world of liquid gold flowing from trees and flowers, fueling an underground economy where a single pint can fetch $50, $70, even $120. Today on Stella Eureka, we're exploring 10 extraordinary syrups that unlock nature's most profitable secrets. And wait until you discover the invasive species syrup that lets you earn money while protecting native forests. Whether you're searching for your next entrepreneurial venture or simply fascinated by nature's hidden economics, these syrups will change the way you see every tree, flower, and forest around you. Deep in the hardwood forest of the American Midwest, black walnut trees harbor one of the most distinctive and profitable syrups you've probably never tasted. While most people associate these towering plants with their prized timber and bitter nuts, smart entrepreneurs have discovered that black walnut sap produces a syrup so unique and sought after that it regularly sells for $35 to $50 per 8-ounce bottle, nearly triple the price of premium maple syrup. Black walnut syrup carries a complex flavor profile that's impossible to replicate artificially. Unlike the straightforward sweetness of maple, this liquid treasure delivers earthy, almost wine-like notes with hints of vanilla and subtle smokiness that makes it irresistible to gourmet chefs and specialty food enthusiasts. The syrup's deep amber color and robust character have made it a secret weapon in high-end restaurants where a single bottle can elevate everything from pancakes to glazed meats. The production process mirrors maple syrup extraction, requiring about 40 gallons of sap to produce 1 gallon of finished syrup. However, black walnut trees tap differently than maples, with peak flow occurring later in the year and requiring specific timing knowledge that keeps competition limited. Most producers are small-scale family operations that have perfected their techniques over generations, creating an authentic product that commands premium prices in specialty markets, online sales, and direct-to-consumer channels. Black walnut's wine-like complexity commands respect in forest shadows, but along Europe's ancient coastlines, another tree whispers secrets that settlers once treasured above all others. When most people think of valuable trees, they picture towering oaks or stately maples, but the humble beech tree holds a secret that's making quiet fortunes for those in the know. While the widespread historical reliance on beech syrup by European settlers is unproven, modern interest is high among discerning consumers willing to pay $40 to $60 per bottle for its distinctive character. What sets beech syrup apart is more than its rarity. It's also the extraordinary flavor journey it delivers. The first taste reveals a clean, almost mineral-like sweetness, followed by subtle notes of honey and brown butter that linger on the palate. This complexity comes from the tree's unique sap composition, which contains different sugars than maple and creates caramelization patterns that produce flavors impossible to achieve through conventional sweeteners. Beech trees present both opportunity and challenge for syrup producers. The sap run is notoriously unpredictable, sometimes flowing abundantly and other times barely trickling, which adds to the syrup's mystique and market value. Smart producers have learned to read the subtle signs like temperature fluctuations, barometric pressure changes, and even moon phases that indicate optimal tapping conditions. The concentration process requires patience and skill, as beech sap burns more easily than maple during boiling. However, those who master the technique find themselves with a product that sells itself. Specialty food stores, high-end restaurants, and artisanal gift shops actively seek out beech syrup suppliers, often placing advance orders for the entire season's production. The deeper you go into this world, the rarer the flavors become, some so scarce that a single tree can feel like a vault of liquid treasure. The butternut tree, often called white walnut, stands as North America's most overlooked syrup gold mine, producing a rare and distinctive syrup sought after by dedicated hobbyists and a very niche market. While butternut canker disease has made these trees increasingly rare across their native range, the surviving specimens offer enterprising producers access to one of the continent's most exclusive syrups. Butternut syrup delivers an experience unlike any other tree syrup on the market. The initial pour reveals a pale, almost translucent amber that catches the light like liquid honey. On the tongue, it opens with delicate floral notes before developing into rich, buttery complexity with hints of vanilla and caramel. This extraordinary taste comes from the tree's unique sugar composition and the slow concentration process required to preserve its subtle characteristics. Producers guard their butternut groves carefully, often treating each tree like a valuable asset that requires protection and careful management. The limited supply means that established butternut syrup makers can essentially name their price, with waiting lists common among restaurants and specialty retailers. Production requires specialized knowledge, as butternut sap behaves differently from other tree syrups during processing. The concentration ratio sits at around 50:1, and the boiling process demands constant attention to prevent scorching the delicate sugars. Just when scarcity seems like the rule, another flavor appears in abundance, carrying a profile that challenges everything you thought syrup could taste like. Towering sycamores with their distinctive mottled bark have lined American riverbanks for millennia, yet few realize these giants produce one of the most specialty syrups in today's artisanal market. Native American tribes knew the secret centuries ago, and now modern entrepreneurs are rediscovering why sycamore syrup can sell for $45 to $70 per bottle to customers seeking truly unique flavors. Unlike the predictable sweetness most people expect from tree syrups, sycamore delivers something completely unexpected. The finished product carries an almost savory quality. Imagine liquid brown sugar infused with subtle hints of mushroom and earth, creating a umami-rich complexity that transforms everything it touches. High-end chefs prize this unusual flavor profile for glazing meats and vegetables. At the same time, adventurous home cooks discover it elevates both sweet and savory dishes in ways conventional syrups simply cannot match. Timing is critical with sycamore tapping, as these riverside giants follow their seasonal rhythm. The sap run typically begins later than maple and flows most abundantly during warm February days following cold nights. Experienced producers know to position their operations near water sources, as sycamores growing along streams and rivers consistently produce the highest quality sap with the most concentrated sugars. The processing challenge lies in sycamore's lower sugar content compared to maple, requiring approximately 60 gallons of sap to yield 1 gallon of syrup. However, this intensive concentration process contributes to the syrup's remarkable depth of flavor and justifies its premium pricing. Smart producers often market directly to restaurants and specialty food stores, where the unique taste profile commands respect and repeat orders. Not every recipe begins with sap. Sometimes sweetness comes through fire, tradition, and the patient release of hidden compounds. Most people know hickory for its smoke-flavored bacon and sturdy tool handles, but these resilient American hardwoods harbor a syrup secret that's generating serious profits for producers who understand its remarkable market potential. Hickory syrup represents one of nature's most complex flavor achievements, routinely selling for $35 to $55 per bottle to customers who've discovered its extraordinary culinary applications, though some producers add sugar to create the finished syrup. The flavor profile reads like a master chef's dream ingredient: rich molasses undertones, layered with smoky complexity and hints of vanilla, all wrapped in a sweetness that's more sophisticated than aggressive. Barbecue enthusiasts pay premium prices for hickory syrup's ability to enhance marinades and glazes, while pastry chefs incorporate it into desserts that command top dollar at upscale establishments. Production techniques separate hickory syrup from traditional tree tapping entirely. Rather than extracting sap, producers harvest hickory bark during specific seasons, then employ time-tested techniques to extract and concentrate the tree's natural sugars and flavor compounds. This bark-based process, passed down through Appalachian families for generations, yields a product that cannot be rushed or mass-produced, a factor that maintains its premium market position. The concentration process demands patience and expertise, as hickory's complex compounds require careful temperature control to prevent bitter overtones from overwhelming the desired flavors. Successful producers often describe their technique as part science, part art, with each batch requiring constant attention and adjustment. This approach appeals to consumers seeking authentic, small batch products, allowing producers to maintain profit margins that would make conventional syrup makers envious. After smoke and intensity, the palate shifts toward a clarity so light and fleeting it feels like the very first note of spring. In the shadows of America's mixed hardwood forest, basswood trees quietly produce what may be the continent's best-kept syrup secret. Also known as American linden, these fast-growing giants yield a syrup so delicate that producers often command premium prices from discerning customers. The magic begins with basswood's sap flow, which occurs during the early spring, coinciding with the freeze-thaw cycles that drive the maple syrup season. This gives producers a crucial market advantage. Fresh syrup available weeks before maple season peaks, capturing customers eager for the year's first taste of liquid spring. The sap itself runs cleaner and clearer than most tree varieties, requiring less filtration and producing a finished product with exceptional clarity and purity. The syrup is not commercially viable due to the immense amount of sap required for a single gallon of syrup. However, the resulting flavor is a unique experience. Basswood syrup's taste signature defies easy categorization. Where maple delivers familiar comfort, basswood offers elegant surprise, a light, almost floral sweetness with subtle honey notes, and a clean finish that never overwhelms the taste buds. This refined character has made it the secret weapon of high-end restaurants and specialty food producers who need sweeteners that enhance rather than mask other flavors. The production of basswood syrup is not as efficient as that of maple syrup. The sugar concentration in basswood sap is lower than that of maple sap, requiring a significantly greater volume of sap. This low yield, combined with basswood's typically robust sap flow, means that while it is an excellent project for small-scale operation, it remains a rare and expensive delicacy. Basswood offers a syrup with soft floral notes flowing in harmony with early spring. But far from the gentle woods, out on America's prairies, stands a tree that feels more like a fortress than a food source. The thorny fortress of America's honey locust trees conceals one of the savanna's most lucrative secrets, a syrup so intensely sweet that it routinely outperforms every other tree syrup in both flavor concentration and profit margins. While most entrepreneurs avoid these formidable trees due to their legendary 3-inch thorns, those brave enough to harvest their liquid treasure consistently earn $50 to $75 per bottle from customers who've discovered its extraordinary potency. Processing honey locusts reveals why this syrup commands such premium prices. The sap concentrates at a remarkable 25-to-1 ratio, meaning producers need only 25 gallons of sap to create 1 gallon of finished syrup, making it the most efficient tree syrup production in North America. This efficiency translates into higher profit margins that would make maple syrup producers envious, especially when combined with honey locust's robust late winter sap flow. The flavor profile explains the devoted customer base. Honey locust delivers sweetness so concentrated that users need half the quantity of conventional syrups, making each bottle last twice as long while providing superior taste satisfaction. The syrup carries pure, clean sweetness with delicate floral notes and a honeyed finish that food scientists struggle to replicate artificially. Making a syrup or sweetener from honey locust pods is a labor-intensive process, as it involves harvesting the mature pods and extracting the pulp. It is not commercially viable on a large scale and is typically a hobbyist endeavor. Due to the high concentration of sugar in the pod pulp, a little of the resulting sweetener goes a long way, and producers who do sell it can command high prices in specialty markets. Venture into Alaska's wilderness or the northern reaches of Maine, and you'll discover paper birch trees producing a distinctive dark-colored syrup. This specialty syrup fetches a high price and is a rare find. For example, a Canadian company sells 100 milliliter bottles for prices ranging from $18 to $55 for larger sizes. But the exclusivity and profitability are often exaggerated. The market for birch syrup is a high-end niche, not one defined by a months-long waiting list. The production numbers alone explain birch syrup's astronomical pricing. The syrup demands a staggering 100 to 150 gallons of sap per gallon of syrup, making each drop of final product precious beyond measure. The sap runs for only 2 to 3 weeks during spring breakup, when temperatures fluctuate wildly between freezing nights and warm days, a narrow window that requires producers to work around the clock when conditions align. Flavor-wise, it occupies territory no other sweetener can touch. The sap contains primarily fructose and glucose, which gives birch syrup a savory, complex profile with notes of caramel, spice, and molasses, as well as a tangy, fruity finish. This intensity makes birch syrup more condiment than sweetener. A few drops transform pancakes, while a tablespoon can glaze an entire ham. Gourmet restaurants treasure it for applications where conventional syrups would be overpowering or simply wrong. The customer base consists almost entirely of serious food enthusiasts and collectors who understand they're purchasing liquid rarity. Many producers never need advertising. Word spreads through culinary networks about available inventory, and bottles disappear through private sales and restaurant partnerships. The combination of extreme production difficulty, limited supply, and unmatched flavor creates a market where demand consistently exceeds availability. And yet, the story isn't only about struggle. Sometimes profit flows from solving a problem, turning what most people curse into something worth savoring. What if America's most hated trees could become your most profitable crop, while you get paid to remove the ecological disasters choking out native forests? Invasive tree syrup production flips environmental destruction into economic opportunity, turning pest management into profit centers. The box elder, Acer negundo, technically a maple family member despite its trash tree reputation, produces tappable sap that can be processed into syrup. Even the notorious tree of heaven, with its high seed production, over 300,000 seeds annually, that makes it one of America's most aggressive invaders, contains sugars that could theoretically be processed. We've reviewed the tree of heaven in more detail in a few of our previous episodes, where its destructive spread and surprising uses took center stage. The production economics favor invasive species because raw material costs drop to zero. Landowners typically pay a few hundred to over $1,000 per acre for invasive removal, but syrup producers can negotiate free tapping rights before cutting. Box elder sap takes 60 or more gallons to boil into a gallon of syrup due to its lower sugar content, increasing processing costs, but still maintaining profitability when raw materials cost nothing. The amount of sap needed from box elders is about 5 times more than from true syrup maples, making production more labor-intensive than traditional maple operations. However, the ecological rescue marketing angle appeals to environmentally conscious consumers willing to pay premium prices for products that benefit ecosystem restoration. Each bottle sold directly supports native forest recovery while generating revenue. The unique story positions these products as high-quality rather than commodity syrups, supporting pricing that absorbs higher processing costs. But innovation doesn't always mean looking backward. it can also mean daring combinations that create flavors our ancestors never imagined. Not every profitable syrup flows from the trunk of a tree. Some of the most inventive flavors come from flowers and spices transformed into modern elixirs that rival old traditions. Hibiscus chili syrup is one of those creations, a ruby red infusion that bridges heritage and innovation, gaining traction in craft cocktails, gourmet desserts, and artisanal kitchens. The process is simple but demands precision. Dried hibiscus blossoms, known across Mexico and the Caribbean as flor de Jamaica, are steeped until their tart, cranberry-like flavor saturates the water. Chilies are then added, chosen carefully for their heat profile, creating a balance between tangy brightness and controlled fire. Reduced with sugar into a thick syrup, the result is a liquid with both vibrant color and bold complexity. Chefs and mixologists love it for its versatility. A drizzle over vanilla ice cream transforms it into a gourmet dessert. In cocktails, a splash of hibiscus chili syrup turns a simple soda or margarita into a signature creation. Savory cooks even brush it onto grilled meats, where the tang cuts through fat and the chili adds depth. Its dual identity as both sweetener and spice makes it stand out in a crowded artisanal market. Unlike tree syrups that depend on narrow tapping seasons and grueling sap-to-syrup ratios, hibiscus chili syrup leans on ingredient quality and creativity. That means small batch producers can start with modest resources, yet still command premium prices from restaurants, bars, and specialty shops. While bottles typically sell for $10 to $15, the story and flavor can elevate it far beyond its cost, building loyal followings for brands that master the balance. America's most valuable liquid gold rarely flows where you would expect it. Birch that rivals wine, walnuts richer than maple, even syrups drawn from invaders and thorns. Each one proves that fortune is not only in what you plant, but in what you learn to see differently in the trees and flowers around you. So which of these syrups surprised you most? Tell us in the comments, and if you enjoyed uncovering profitable secrets hiding in plain sight, like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who still thinks maple has the final word on sweetness. This is Stella Eureka, signing off.